your Baltimore Orioles.
What a big blast! This game is over!
And streaming live on the Masson app. It all starts right now.
Could be a Sunday sweep in the first series after the All-Star break. Oriole Park has been the site of so much thrilling baseball this season. The O's 28-18 at home, propelled by Austin Hayes in the lineup on his T-shirt day for a Baltimore team that's a season-high 21 games over 500 as they celebrate number 21. And the rest of this fabulous Orioles team searching for a three-game sweep of the Miami Marlins. Good afternoon. Welcome to Oriole Park in Camden Yards. Kevin Brown shortly be joined by Ben McDonald and Mike Devereaux with us for one more game this weekend. For the Orioles yesterday, same kind of drill we've seen a lot this season. Fall behind early, come back late. Yesterday was a little bit more of a jumbo-sized win, though. Down 4-0 in the second inning, the O's rallied to win at 6-5. Their fifth comeback win from down by at least 4 runs this year, and their 7th win in a row overall. That's the longest win streak in Major League Baseball, and they have done everything well. Scoring 55 runs, nearly 8 per game, allowing just more than 2 per game. Outscoring opponents 55-16 in the win streak. Anthony Santander, the game-winning hit yesterday, has a hit in all 7 games in this win streak. And the Oriole rotation has only been outshined by the Oriole bullpen. The starters and relievers terrific. Dean Kramer's led the way, and Kyle Bradish will get the ball today. 7 wins in a row for the Orioles, 5 before the All-Star game. Debo, you've been here for the last 2. What's impressed you?
I'll tell you what, the Orioles have not missed a beat since the end of the first half. I mean, they've come out strong. I mean, you've got the hitting early in the count, attacking the strikes. The pitchers are keeping the players in the game, or the Orioles in the game. And I'll tell you what, it's an exciting time to watch the Orioles. I'm very happy to be here, and it's great.
Yeah, I mean, look, think about this. 69 comeback victories the last 2 years. Nobody in baseball has more than that than the Orioles. And the big difference for me is runners in scoring position. Last year, the Orioles were 25th out of 30th. This year, they're 6th with runners in scoring position this year. And in this 7-game winning streak you mentioned, Kevin, the Orioles are hitting .403 with runners in scoring position, and that's why I think the offense is so much better than what it was last year.
Orioles looking for that sweep today. They will face a Marlins opener, Steven Okert. Kyle Bradish takes the ball next.
It's about that time. It's about that time. Get to it. Here we go. Get to it is all. Quick draw like we gotta take a shot at the stall. Got him in all. Get you what you need in the call. Really got my feet up by the spark cigar like hello. It's about that time. Get to it. It's about that time. Get to it. It's about that time. Get to it. It's about that time. Get to it.
It's Austin Hayes T-shirt day at the ballpark. There's Austin, his wife Samantha, and his son Levi, who threw out the most adorable ceremonial first pitch of the season to Dad. He didn't want to come in for a hug, though. Levi and Austin and the Hayes family have had such a wonderful year. And we got Tony Mansolino mic'd up talking with Austin about it.
Mountie, when Levi threw out that's Levi, right?
Yeah.
Threw out the first pitch, Mountie goes, does Levi have a better arm than me? I said, well, he definitely got him by arm strength, but he's got the better arm action.
Strong arm action for the whole Hayes family. Austin, who's got 4 outfield assists, and Levi with the first pitch. Hayes is in left field today, and here is the Miami Marlins lineup under the guidance of Skip Schumacher. 53 and 41, 23rd in the majors in runs per game. Luis Arias had 4 hits yesterday, and Gene Segura had 3. 7 of the Marlins, 11 came from those 2. Today they'll face Kyle Bradish, looking to start the second half strong after a terrific first half.
Yeah, it's been 3 quality starts in a row for Kyle Bradish. Matter of fact, you go back his last 5 starts, KB, a 1.74 ERA. That's how good Kyle Bradish has been as of late.
Starts this game at 136 with a 96-mile-an-hour fastball up and away to Luis Arias. Cloudy day, 77 degrees, sticky, humid. Tarp briefly on the field before the game, but removed after just a sprinkling of rain, and hopefully it will stay curled up and right all day long. Arias a 4 for 5 game, the major league average on base percentage and hits leader, 386 average, 437 on base. That's nearly 4 out of 9 plate appearances he reaches, and a rare, not full swing and a miss, but at least a foul tip into the mid here from Arias for strike 2.
Yeah, Rise 0 for 3 in game 1 of this series, but he made up for it last night. A 4 for 5 night last night for Luis Arraez.
The toughest batter to strike out in the majors. Has been in a lot of 2 strikeouts this series. And he has not gone down in any one of those 2 strikeouts as he fouls 97 the other way.
Watching him swing, Devo, it almost feels like to me, though, you're doing him a favor throwing the ball away to him. He likes to serve the ball the other way. And I'd like to see the Orioles attack him more to the inside part of the plate occasionally.
Exactly, because he lets that ball get deep and he can hit that ball the other way.
Bradish goes away again.
Yes.
See, that's just in his comfort zone right there. It's
He
just an
likes that ball
inside
away
out
from him.
swing, and he just serves it the opposite way.
Yep, just getting the ball or the bat on the ball.
And the Orioles are playing him shallow. I mean, you can see Hayes or Colton Cowser rather. No, that's Hayes out in left field.
Yes.
You can see he's a little bit shallow.
Arraez 4 for 8, a walk in the series. Sprays that one out of play. Bradish continues to go down and away to Luis Arraez, who was traded to the Marlins this offseason from Minnesota. He's kind of single-handedly buoyed this offense. Miami team that's 3rd in batting average, but only 27th in walk rate, 23rd in homers. A lot of singles. And Arraez, the most singles, the most hits of anybody in baseball. Another pitch down and away. That was the changeup at 93, and Kyle Bradish is finding out what the rest of the league knows about Luis Arraez.
Yeah, not a lot of swing and misses for him.
Not typical. We see Kyle Bradish go 7 pitches without a breaking ball of some kind. Well, he finally throw one here. He'll go to the fastball, and it's knocked out of the mitt of James McCann, who gets a little pat on the head from Arraez.
That's a tough pitch right there to get a piece of.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised he swung at that pitch. It was so far out of the zone. But sometimes you get, as a hitter, you get in swing mode, right?
Exactly.
I mean, you get 2 strikes, you're swinging, swinging, swinging.
6 straight foul balls, and Arraez makes it 7. What a tone setter this is for the afternoon. Luis Arraez, who's hitting well enough with 2 strikes to lead the league in batting average in 2 strike counts alone. He swings and misses. A Baltimore miracle.
Yeah, but look where the pitch is. This is just what we talked about. Ball kind of inner third versus it being away. You see it where it is on the plate, and that's the spot I think you can get Luis Arraez out. He loves the ball away because he likes to serve it that way.
I don't know that I've been more stunned this season. Luis Arraez with a swinging strike and a strikeout. That is only his 20th strikeout in 372 trips to the plate. And for Kyle Bradish, he wins a 10-pitch duel to begin the game. Now Jorge Soler, who takes the game's first breaking ball for a strike. Boy, that's got to feel as good as anything as a pitcher, not just getting Luis Arraez out, striking Luis Arraez out. Makes contact about 94% of the time he swings. Bradish 80 strikeouts now, 84 and a third. He struck out 5 in 6 shutout innings against the Yankees. His last start 10 days ago gave up 3 hits, walked 2. And that backdoor slider or front door slider just clips the inside corner. Soler not in agreement with DJ Rayburn, but it looked like a beauty from here. Jorge Soler with a home run on Friday night. Nearly had one yesterday. 1 for 7 in the series. Couple of walks, couple of strikeouts. And Soler drives one into left field right at Austin Hayes. On his t-shirt day, he's got the second out.
Well, this is StatCast powered by Google Cloud. We'll take a look at Kyle Bradish's pitch arsenal. See, he likes that slider about 30% of the time. Between the 2-seam and the 4-seam fastball, he'll use it about 45% of the time. Curveball and a changeup as well. But look at the opponent's batting average on the slider and the curveball. Those are the ones that Kyle Bradish does his work with.
Yeah, strikeout of Arraez was only his 8th strikeout on a sinker this year and his 19th on any kind of fastball. 61 strikeouts on breaking balls between that slider and curve. And he starts Garrett Cooper, the Marlin DH, with strike one. Day off yesterday, 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts and a double play Friday. And Cooper hits one off the fist right back to Bradish. Good first inning for Bradish. A strikeout of Arise and a 1-2-3 top.
Yesterday. Did you win the competition yesterday? I think you did, right? Gunnar had one. You just got to beat Gunnar again today. You can't let Hauser get more hits than you one day. That wouldn't be good. And he's never going to stop talking.
Tony Mansolino mic'd up, sowing the seeds of dissent in the Oriole dugout. Competition between Gunnar and Adley and Colton, who are all in the lineup today for the Orioles. Adam Frazier, who's been red hot, is as well. A late scratch, Aaron Hicks with lower back soreness, so Hayes was originally not in the lineup. He's moved into the cleanup spot. Cedric Mullins out, though doing better after some quad tightness yesterday. Marlins go with an opener today. It's Steven Okert who throws ball one to Gunnar Henderson.
Yeah, Okert making his 38th appearance. This is his very first start of his career. He threw last night, threw an inning in the third last night. It was an inning of third shutout. Didn't walk a batter. Punched out 3. And expected to probably be in there just for 1 inning after working 1 in the third. Now, he only threw 18 pitches in his 1 in the third innings of work last night. It's a 2-pitch mix. Fastball, slider, but it is heavy on the slider. He'll use that slider about 2/3 of the time.
So it's an interesting move in the third game out of the break to go with an opener. Marlins rotations in an odd spot, but they're doing so because the Orioles like to stack lefties at the top of the lineup. See Cedric Mullins looking on there. And Henderson, one of those lefties, just smacked one up the gap. Opener Gambit not looking so good out of the chute. Gunnar Henderson with a double, left on left.
Well, there goes that left on left theory very quickly. Gunnar Henderson, who hit his 14th long ball of the year, picks up right where he left off last night. Hanging breaking ball, and he powers this. And I mean, coming out of the box, he's thinking one thing: I'm getting to second base on this. And he quickly gets out of the box as the ball's out in right center field. Soler and Myers chasing it. And the water sprinklers
that he
are
did.
working.
Nice swing right there.
Hey, that's the first extra base hit against a lefty for Gunnar all year. 72 plate appearances. And we heard Tony Mansolino before the game say to Adley Rutschman, you can't let Gunnar get more hits than you. Well, 1-0 out of the chute. So I guess we know who's going to pitch behind Steven Okert. George Soriano, the 24-year-old right-hander, starting to throw, with Adley Rutschman, the number 2 hitter, batting. And Rutschman takes strike one. Adley 3 for 8 in the series with a double. A double and a couple of hits came yesterday. Continues to rank among the American League leaders on base percentage and walks. 5th in OBP, 2nd in walks. Only behind the Oakland A's Ryan Noda for walks.
Well, here's the Marlins defense behind Okert. Dela Cruz, Myers, and Soler in the outfield left to right. Your double play combination: Joey Wendell, Luis Arise over at third base, Segura first base, Yuli Gurriel, and Jacob Stallings behind home plate for the Marlins.
There are the splits for Rutschman. Very good from both sides of the plate this season. And he drives this Okert pitch. Left center field. Well struck. And one hop over the fence. Out to Mr. Splash. A ground rule double. And Mr. Splash, with a baseball right at his ankles, needed to fire up the hose a little bit late.
Playing a little dodgeball out there, Mr. Splash, huh? Well, that's how you want to get the party started right away.
Absolutely. Right on that.
Yeah, back-to-back doubles. How about that,
Gotta
Devo?
love that. Gotta love that to start off this game.
Come on, come on. Easy, easy, easy.
Not much work needed there in the third base coach's box. Adley Rutschman matches Gunnar Henderson hit for hit. Adley with his 15th double after Gunnar's 12th. And Rutschman now a 4 for 9 series with a couple of doubles. Great start for the post All-Star break portion of the year. Here's Anthony Santander. Santander tags one into center field. Well struck at the wall. It is out of here. A two-run bullpen blast. What a start for the Orioles on this sweltering Sunday. Extra base hits for the first three swingers, and it's 3-zip in a heartbeat.
Hey now.
Off-speed pitch. Anthony went down and got that one. Very nice.
The Orioles have the long ball working the last 4 games. They got 11 home runs now the last 4 games. 105 off the bat for Santander. His 17th long ball of the year. His 54th RBI. And the Birds out quickly in this one.
Make it an 8-game hit streak, 13 in a row on base for Santander. And Steven Okert, who faced 4 batters, struck out 3 and retired them all yesterday, is getting absolutely bombarded from the get-go. Here's Austin Hayes.
Oh, watch where this pitch is. Just another breaking ball. Look at Santander again. Watch him just sink down in those big legs. He didn't let the body drift forward. He just sunk down and powered that ball almost straight away center field.
Ben Carhart rather thrilled about it. Oriole bullpen catcher, and Hayes, you knew he wasn't going to be shut out on his T-shirt day. It's a 4-for-4 start and a grand opening for the Orioles against Okert.
Yeah, and it's loud too. Like, these are loud hits.
Oh yeah, all of them on the barrel. Tell you, what a way to start this game.
Well, this offense has been special as of late, averaging just about 8 runs per game over this 7-game winning streak.
So 4-for-4 start to the game. Ryan O'Hearn will take a strike. Mel Stottlemyre Jr. is on the bullpen phone already. A rare at bat against a lefty for O'Hearn. Moves it an 0-2 hole. 2 for 3, a walk and a double in the series for Ryan. Steven Okert looked about as dominant as you can look yesterday. Nasty breaking ball. 3 strikeouts on sliders to 4 batters. And it's a slider coming in that saw the league hitting .093, 7 for 75, only 2 home runs allowed, 34 strikeouts on that pitch. But pitching for a second straight day, it has not been there this afternoon.
And you got to wonder, I mean, look, everybody says, well, you're just an opener, it's just 1 inning, but it's different when you're a reliever coming in your normal situations, and all of a sudden you're going to start a ball game. Remember, Okert, 201 career big league appearances, not 1 start mixed in there, and so you wonder if the heartbeat just a little bit faster than what it typically is for him.
Yeah, he had that slider working yesterday, and all the pitches that were hit today were just right over the plate. Caught plenty of the plate, and these guys were just right on him.
Yeah, because look, Okert's had a really good year. I mean, his opponent's batting average coming in this game, how about 158 is what opponents are hitting off of him. 33 1/3 innings pitched for Okert coming in, 18 hits allowed. That's it. And the Orioles have 4 quick hits on him here.
4 for 4.
Yeah.
Top 6% in the league for hard hit rate against, for strikeout rate. And O'Hearn pops one up to Segura. And there's the first out for Steven Okert. Here's today's umpiring crew. It's a little bit different than the first 2 games of the series. DJ Rayburn has rejoined the crew, along with Clint Vondrak, John Liebke, and the crew chief down at third, James Hoy. Well, when you have to start an opener the 3rd day after the All-Star break, it tells you that some things may be askew with your pitching staff. Grand opening, grand closing. Okert gets 1 out and done. Well, Steven Okert is one of the best pitchers in Major League Baseball at allowing soft contact. Typically, not today, the Orioles with 4 well-struck balls. The Marlins opener is shut after 5 batters faced, and George Soriano will come into the game for his 8th appearance.
Yeah, 2.87 ERA, 15 2/3. He's punched out 10. Has not allowed a homer yet. It's a 3-pitch mix for Soriano. Fastball is going to average about 95 miles an hour, but it gets hit hard so far this year. Opponent's batting .414 off of his fastball. His slider, though, has been the difference maker for him. Opponent's hitting only .056 off the slider.
Soriano will face Ramon Urias. And Urias got a high slider, a hanger, and popped it up. Joey Wendell's there, and Soriano has an out on a pitch. Well, we don't know if Johnny Cueto is going to throw at some point in this game. He's in the Marlins bullpen, longtime starter. He's at the moment scheduled to be a long reliever. It's a weird situation. The Marlins have had such a good year. They've had a really good young rotation. Pitching staff is 14th in the majors. But they have some young pitchers that are popping up against some innings limits already. Yuri Perez, who's been a revelation at 20 years old, is in the minors. Jesus Luzardo's not starting until tomorrow, so the Marlins push him back, even though he's been arguably their best starter until Monday. They will likely activate Edward Cabrera off the IL on Tuesday. But yeah, today it's an opener, and it's going to be a bullpen game. Day 3 out of the break for Skip Schumacher's group.
Yeah, the pitch, you know, the starting rotation for the Marlins has really been the strength of this team, you know, and they do not walk a lot of guys, and they strike out a bunch.
Colt Kauser grounds out to short. What an inning, though. And we take you to break with our Hyundai Supermo, brought to you by Hyundai. It's your journey. Own every mile in a brand new Hyundai. Career home run number 100 for Anthony Santander. Made it 3-0. Today's Maryland Lottery Fast Play Home Run richest contestant of the game is James Baker from Wheaton. James has won $500 for being selected. $500 for Anthony Santander's home run, and will win $500 more for every Orioles home run hit today. Learn how you can be the Fast Play contestant of the game with one more chance to win $50,000 at mdlottery.com/home run. A home run from Anthony, doubles from Adley and Gunnar. Kyle Bradish, who doesn't typically get a lot of run support, is hoping he'll have a lot again. 100th career home run, a big round number for Tony in that first inning. And a 1-1 count on the Marlins cleanup hitter Yuli Gurriel. Kyle Bradish got all the run support you could hope for 3 starts last time out against the Yankees. A 14-1 Oriole win. And it can be, we talked about this, Ben, it can be a little tough sometimes to pitch with a big lead because of the long wait in between innings, though you're happy to get the run support. But Bradish did very well getting a shutdown inning every time the Orioles scored.
Yeah, I always looked at run support. You know, you want the run support because you know that's how you can win a lot of ball games, right? But I always felt like mentally, and as far as being in a ball game, always focused, I felt like, better in close games because you knew every pitch that came out of your hand could very well mean the ball game. Now, mentally, that could be tough over the course of 30 or 35 starts to do that every game. But I kind of like close games through the first 4 or 5 innings, and then you never mind a 10 spot later on.
Gurriel knocks one the other way, and Santander retrieves it on the warning track.
Well, here's the Oriole defense, and according to fielding percentage, the second best defense in all of Major League Baseball. Hayes, Kauser, and Santander, Urias and O'Hearn on the corners, McCann behind home plate, and boy, Gunnar Henderson up the middle, and was he outstanding last night. Started off at third base. How about this play? Bare hands it and just rips it right across the diamond to get the Orioles off the field, and then again at third base, coming in hard again, and almost the exact same play, and that is so hard to do. When you watch this, remember this kid is 6'4", 220 pounds, and moving like he moves.
Where has he improved defensively over the course of the year in your eyes?
Going back and forth play in third base and shortstop can be difficult because third base is more of a reaction type position because you're typically playing a little bit closer to home plate. Shortstop, you have a little bit more time because you're playing deeper, and he plays a deep shortstop because he's got an above average arm out there. But I just think, you know, the more reps he gets, I mean, we got to remember this kid could have been a junior at Auburn University this past year, you know, and he's playing in the big leagues and just turned 22 years old.
Brian De La Cruz, that ball drifting into right center for Colt Cowser.
But for Henderson, it's just about reps is all it is. Learning the game, learning the speed of the game, how fast certain guys are, the internal clock that you have to play middle infield. I think all those things will come to him when he just gets enough of experience. And when I say experience, I'm talking about 2 full years in the big leagues, 1,000 at bats or so at the big league level, where you start to kind of figure it all out. But talent-wise, it's as good as it gets.
No doubt. And I know, Ben, you were talking about, defense being number 2 in the league. As a pitcher, when you know you have the defense behind you, does that change the way that, I know you're going to go about the game, strong and all that, but does it change your confidence on the hill?
Absolutely. I can't tell you how many times I stood on that mound out there and looked behind me and I saw Cal Ripken Jr. standing at shortstop, and that made me feel better, right? Because I knew if I kept on the ground in his direction, he was going to make a play, and it means a lot. You don't have to strike out every guy.
Soft line drive from Segura, and another 1-2-3 inning for Kyle Bradish. Program. As a thank you for their sacrifices, the Orioles welcome residents from the Baltimore station to the ballpark today. Cole Irvin spending some time with folks from that organization. Catered sweet Orioles military-themed hats and T-shirts. And that in-game recognition among different things provided to the folks of the Baltimore station as part of the Orioles Military Suites program. Ball got loose in left field, so DJ Rayburn stops the game. Baltimore Station, an innovative therapeutic residential and outpatient treatment program. It's in South Baltimore, focused on supporting veterans who are overcoming obstacles to regain self-sufficiency. They have been in the community for more than 34 years, providing homeless men with food, housing, clinical programming, counseling, workforce development, and outpatient programming. So thanks to all that those folks do. Adam Frazier with a flyout to begin the bottom of the second. Well, big series this weekend, and maybe an even bigger one coming up starting tomorrow night. Former MVP Mookie Betts and the Los Angeles Dodgers take the field in Birdland, 7:05 Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday afternoon, 1:05. Orioles.com/tickets. Secure your seats now for the team that has been baseball's best over the past decade and leads the National League once again. 2 hottest teams in baseball right now. Orioles have won 7 straight, and the Dodgers right behind them. They've won their last 6. They're looking for a sweep of the Mets later today. Ball on a strike. George Soriano to James McCann.
Yeah, the Orioles, Dodgers, and the Red Sox, huh? Red Sox are making a push at the bottom of the AL East.
Lost yesterday after having won their last 6. That's going to be a terrific series, and the pitching matchups there. Emmett Sheehan, Michael Grove, and Julio Urias for the Dodgers. Not the names you might expect with Clayton Kershaw and some other injuries, but a big name for the Orioles tomorrow. Brandon Hyde announced before today's game that Grayson Rodriguez would be returning to the major leagues tomorrow. It'll be his 2nd stint with the team. Rodriguez will come up from AAA, and he will be inserted back into the rotation for his 11th big league start this year. McCann swings through a slider, and Soriano has the Marlins' first strikeout.
Yeah, I mean, Grayson was sitting down, right, to work a little bit on his fastball command, and they say that, he's been working really hard at that. You see Soriano with a really good breaking ball down and away. And all indication, I mean, look, Grayson dominated AAA last year. He dominated it early this year before he was called up. And he went down and he dominated again. So, I mean, there's one place for him to be, in my opinion, and that's the big league level, and you let him go. Now, the difference in that now is the Orioles are trying to win. And if it was 3 or 4 years ago, Grayson would have never been sent down. And, he'd have got his starts in this year at the big league level, no matter what. But it's different now. So you hope it's going to be a different Grayson Rodriguez. But all indications are the fastball command is better. He's pitched to a 1-point-something ERA since going down at AAA.
Henderson a ground ball to Gurriel, and that is a 1-2-3 inning for George Soriano. 3-0 Orioles looking for a sweep.
Good, how are y'all? Hello, got some balls. Whoa. One sec. Here you go. Come here. I got this guy right here. All right, what do you say? Good, I like that.
That's how you make some friends right there.
No doubt about it. Kids love getting baseballs. I'll tell you that.
Tony
Love their hot
Manners,
dogs, too,
Tony
huh?
Manners Manzolino mic'd up for us. There he is, the Oriole third base coach. He also works with the Orioles infield, part of this terrific coaching staff. And his Orioles with a 3-0 lead as Joey Wendell goes the other way, foul against Kyle Bradish.
We need to get the interns on how many dozens of baseballs do the Orioles go through in a season.
I mean, they bring out dozens and dozens every day, brand new.
Pearls.
Pearls, exactly.
Somebody somewhere
Or one of the interns
has
on
to
it?
have done work on that. We can get the interns on it.
I mean, I'd like to. I mean, counting
Or
spring training and everything.
Well, yeah, you could count if you want.
No, I can't count that high.
All right, so there's a piece that Jason Lloyd wrote in The Athletic last year, and he tracked the number of baseballs used in a Guardians-Tigers game. There were 115, which he said is right within baseball's average range. So if you use 115 for a home season, 81 games, as the umpires are going to come together here.
Miami's challenging whether the ball hit the batter or not.
Okay, we'll see if this baseball. Well, this baseball is definitely going to get used, or not used again. Yeah, that hit him. Definitely got him. So Wendell will get first. So that would put an average team at using about 9,315 baseballs for a home season.
And that's only game baseball.
That's only right. That's only game baseballs.
After reviewing the call and the field's overturned, it was a hit by pitch. The batter will go to first. Miami retains their challenge.
All right. So first base runner for the Marlins. So if you go 162 game season, a team usually is involved in more than 18,000 baseballs. And then spring training, who knows?
And those baseballs are what, about $12, $15 a piece?
A piece, yeah.
That I don't know.
Yeah.
That seems like a lot. $12, $15 per baseball?
I'm sure they get up. Obviously, they're buying them in bulk. So you
get
get a little
$10
bit of a
a piece.
discount.
Somebody have a Costco card?
Serious bulk.
So Jacob Stallings against Bradish. And that baseball will get thrown right back to Kyle after strike two. Well, we got Mel and Jason down there for us. You know, they two-person pre- and post-game today. One of them can just track baseballs, I think, the rest of the game.
I mean, pitch ball hits the ground one time, it's thrown out.
It's out.
It's gone.
Served your purpose. All right, that ball's
That
in the
ball's hit the
dirt.
ground, it's gone.
James McCann says, give me a new one.
But they can ground out the shortstop and it stays in the game. So we'll figure that one out, right? Or a base hit to the outfield on the ground and it stays in the game.
Yep.
But if it skips one time, well, we got to get that one out. Oh, you hitters, you only want to hit with Pearl.
Got to be able to see it.
Stallings flails at a slider. Strikeout number 2 for Kyle Bradish.
Yeah, Pearl or no Pearl, it didn't matter on that pitch.
Nope,
and that's
not at
kind of Kyle Bradish's, and that's really his bread and butter. Four-seam fastball is good, a good two-seamer too, but the breaking balls have been the difference maker this year, and it really was last year for Bradish.
I think that's one of the toughest balls to hit in the game. You have that good fastball, and then you have the breaking ball away off the plate, especially being down in the count.
Dane Myers, number 9 hitter, takes ball 1. Myers has started every game at center field in the series. He's had quite a lot of action out there. 1 for 7, an RBI at the plate. Kyle Bradish looking to continue on what's been such a strong season. Second only to Tyler Wells among Orioles starters. 3.32 ERA in the first half. 3 earned runs or less all but 2 of his starts, and 1 home run or less in all 16 starts this season. And you have to go way back early last season. Last time he allowed multiple home runs in a game. That's something that Kyle had some trouble with, Ben, early in his career, the home run ball.
Yeah, I mean, look, he gave up 17 homers last year and about 117 2/3. A little bit on the high side, but this year it's been different. And he can really spin the breaking balls. You talk about spin rate, you talk about Kyle Bradish on the breaking balls. So his slider spins about 2,631 RPMs. The average slider will spin about 2,400. You know, and what that means is it's got a little bit tighter break, later break to it, and then when it really goes and he throws a good one, it's good. And the curveball too is about 200 RPMs above big league average spin too.
That fastball fades to Myers. First walk handed out by Bradish, and Miami's got 2 on 1 out for Luis Arraez. Yo's Unlimited Ballpark Pass is back and on sale now. This is one heck of a deal. Unlimited access to every home game in the month of August for just $60. Passes include a general admission standing ticket with access to the flag court and the Budweiser roof deck. Purchase today at Orioles.com/unlimited. Luis Arraez, first pitch swinging. Out to Hayes in left. And Arraez is retired for the second time. Struck out in the first, flies out here in the third. The major leagues average an on-base leader. And now Bradish will try to get out of this inning with Jorge Soler. James McCann, who's in front of the plate, was giving some defensive signals, and now there may be a pitch comm issue. Away we go for the powerful Soler. Got to be extra careful here. Soler is the big power bat in the lineup. 24 home runs. So 27% of the Marlins homers just by himself. Miami does not hit many. Oh. Soler didn't like that call, and understandably so.
Got a little break right there.
I noticed the pitcher in the booth isn't even trying to argue that one.
He threw that one right where he wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is one of the areas where Kyle Bradish has been so good this season, the ability to put away hitters. The 173 average against with 2 strikes this year.
And I felt like last year where the game began to change for Bradish in some ways when he incorporated, about the same time Dean Kramer did that 2-seam fastball. Because if you watch Bradish pitch, 3 of his 4 pitches go from right to left, right? The fastball's got a natural cut to it. Of course, the curveball and the slider both going right to left. Then all of a sudden last year, about midway point, he started to throw a 2-seam fastball a little bit more just to keep the right-handers honest and run that ball in on the hands to the inside part of the cage, occasionally, just to kind of open it up and speed the bat up in some ways and then get right back to what his bread and butter has been.
Exactly. That's why I say it's not fair. You know, you pitchers got an advantage. And
well, we have to, because I mean, big league hitters will take advantage of you. If your ball stays middle away and that's all you throw is middle away, guess what hitters begin to do? They begin to get their toes close to the plate and they begin to dive out across the plate. And even when you make good pitches on the outer part of the plate, they can easily get the bat hit to them because they're not respecting the ball on the inside part of the plate.
Exactly. I mean, you know, hitters make their money off of mistakes that pitchers make.
3-2. He didn't make a mistake. Soler not ready for the curveball, and the hook gets the strikeout.
Well, spin them if you got them, and Kyle Bradish has got them. The Orioles up 3-0 as we go to the bottom of the third.
Before the game, more than 250 of our Birdland members got to meet Brian Baker and Gunnar Henderson and a whole bunch of Orioles players, coaches, Orioles alumni, including Larry Bigby, Al Bumbry, and some of us as well. It's the first ever Birdland Members Selfie Day, one of the many unique experiences offered exclusively to Birdland members. Inyan Cano got into the action. Cianel Perez, Danny Coulomb. So many Orioles gracious enough to spend their time with Birdland members before the game. If you're thinking about becoming a Birdland member with experiences like that, why wouldn't you? Orioles.com/membership. And you can begin placing your deposit for the 2024 membership right now. We got a chance to go out there, Ben and Devo and I, and I'm just so struck every time we get to do something with Orioles fans by how thoughtful and how kind people are, and how much so many of you remember, like, the things we say that we don't even remember we said. It's really cool.
Yeah, it was a good time out there. They were so friendly. It was so nice to see everybody, to be face to face to them.
Yeah, and those folks, look, they waited around in a little bit of a rain, too.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, it was sprinkling. Soriano has showed us one thing so far, and he's been really good. He has an outstanding breaking ball. You can't throw one much better than that. Starts it real over the outside part of the plate. He just bends it right to the inside corner, and Rutschman caught looking on that one.
Six in a row retired by George Soriano, and back of the opener, Stephen Okert. I will say my favorite moment from today was when I walked up and somebody said, "Now, you're one of the broadcasters. Which one are you?" I said, "Well, who do you want me to be?" And so, you know, I was temporarily Jim Palmer.
There you go. Take advantage of that situation. There you go.
Anthony's 100th career home run came in his first at-bat. Extended his on-base streak to 13, extended his hit streak to 8. Into the game, he's 10th in the American League in slugging percentage. That number may have just gone up, and tied for 6th in extra base hits. 42nd extra base hit to lead the team. It's a wicked changeup from George Soriano. 24-year-old rookie out of San Pedro de Macorís, baseball hub in the Dominican Republic. Been in this Marlins organization for a long time. Started pitching in the Dominican Summer League back in 2016. So 8th year pitching in his first as a big leaguer. With Santander to pop one up to shallow center. Joey Wendell's on the case. Time now for your over-under live odds for total runs, brought to you by FanDuel. It's the same number it was at the start of the game, 8.5. The over is the favorite right now at -128. Be a bullpen day for the Marlins. Soriano came on after Stephen Okert got 1 out, gave up 4 hits and 3 earned runs. Let's have some starting experience. Soriano in the minors started a little bit less than half his games in the minor leagues, so you could give the Marlins a little bit extra length today. Austin Hayes singled up the middle in the first. And that's a strike on the swing. Austin was originally not in the lineup. Aaron Hicks was a late scratch because of some lower back soreness. Cedric Mullins day-to-day with quad tightness, Brandon Hyde said before the game, which is pretty good news considering
no
what
doubt.
we feared.
Yes.
Brandon said he feels like the team got lucky with that. Also said Cianel Perez feels great. He's dealing with some forearm soreness. And the Orioles are discussing whether he'll just rejoin the team or maybe he'll go out on a rehab assignment, but it does not sound like Cianel Perez is too far away from returning to this team. And he had been pitching so well before getting hurt. Strong rehab outing at Bowie, so may well see Cianel in the next few days if things continue to trend in the right direction. He's great full count hitter. Ready for a 3-2. A slider hooked into center field, and Myers has a beat on it. George Soriano's been good out of the Fish bullpen. 3-0 Orioles looking for a sweep. Here in my time here that I am now to say that Deedle's Donuts, Baltimore's own, are now available at every Sunday home game for the remainder of the season. Section 78 out in the outfield. They look absolutely ridiculous on TV. They look even better in person. We have been trying so hard not to eat all of these before coming on. These are legitimately maybe the best thing we've gotten to eat this year.
That almost tastes like a New Orleans beignet, and that's really good.
Ben and I think we have kind of a cookies and cream one here. Debo, what do you got? Some cinnamon sugar?
Cinnamon, yeah, these are good. These are really good.
Mini donuts are right near the top, I think, of the approval rating food chain. I mean, a bad mini donut is always good. There was no such thing. These are great mini donuts.
And they're small, so it don't make you feel so bad for eating one.
For eating a lot of them.
Or eating 2 or 3 or 4 of them. Or
8.
Whatever.
So. Garrett Cooper in the right center field. Rudely interrupting the donuts. Cooper's going to go for 2 on Colton Cowser. He is in there. So after 3 hitless innings from Kyle Bradish, Garrett Cooper strikes with a leadoff double for Miami.
Yeah, it's a really good swing by Cooper. Came in hitting .258 with 12 homers. Inside out swing. The hands go first. The barrel right behind him. The ball, it's on the inner third. He just shoves this one out toward right center field. Cowser right there, a little bit of trouble picking that ball up, and Cooper was thinking 2 the whole way, so leadoff double for the Marlins here at the top of the 4th.
Double number 11 for the 32-year-old Cooper. Pretty good power hitter, and he has his first hit of the series. Got to strike, some wicked late movement on that sinker to Yuli Gurriel. 39 years old, Gurriel. So batting champ just a couple of years ago, 2021 in the American League. Marlins are the first team in Major League history to acquire 2 players that were batting champs the previous year and the year before that in the same offseason. Gurriel in the American League in 2021, Arise in the American League in 2022. This soft ground ball will be gloved by Frazier, who thought about a bare hand and then realized he had enough time to make the play with the glove as Cooper goes to third.
Yeah, productive out. Just kind of pushes this ball to the opposite field. A nice play by Frazier.
Good decision to go with the glove.
Yeah, I think that's one of those we talk about the internal clock and then remembering at the last second. All right, who's running? Who's running?
Exactly.
So the Orioles will keep the infield back with a 3-0 lead, and Brian De La Cruz hooks one out of play. De La Cruz dropped in the lineup from 3rd to 5th today. And a bit of a tough start out of the break for him. 1 for 8, though he does have an RBI single and a sac fly. He's driven in a pair in this series. It's not a Marlins team with a ton of power. We keep harping on it. De La Cruz has their third most homers with 10. Cooper with 12.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's the highest ground ball rate for any team in baseball. And while the Orioles towards the top of getting the ball in the air, top 3rd in baseball, the Marlins right at the bottom. A lot of ground balls. Don't hit many home runs. But we're like the Orioles, they have really improved in these situations, runners in scoring position. So the Marlins top 10 in baseball, whereas last year they were 29th out of 30th hitting with runners in scoring position. And that's why their offense is up like the Orioles from a tick from last year.
Team that, like the Orioles, might be a year ahead of schedule right now. They're 53-41. They lead the National League wild card race by a half game over Arizona. San Francisco's a game back. The Phillies are 2 back. There's a strikeout of De La Cruz with a runner at 3rd, 1 out. A pivotal K for Kyle.
Huge. Runner at 3rd base. Less than 2 out. When you get 2 strikes, you're thinking punch out. Can I figure out a way to get a strikeout and be able to strand that runner over at third base in a really good breaking ball? When Kyle Bradish gets himself in a bind, you know what he's going to. He's going to one of the 2 breaking balls.
Two down, Gene Segura. Even with that pitch being basically down the middle, what is it about that pitch that leads to such an uncomfortable swing?
I think it's the spin rate. And the spin rate, because it's so tight, I don't think hitters quite pick up the spin on it right away.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I know he's trying to get the ball up in the air, and he's just a little bit early on that spin rate allowed the ball just to get away from the bat.
Ball and a strike on Gene Segura.
Because when we talk about spin rate, we talk about how fast the ball spins, right? And the tighter the ball spins, and Mike can talk to this a lot, it's harder for a hitter to be able to figure out, okay, is this fastball spin or is it breaking ball spin coming
Exactly,
at?
it is. And even that ball was up in the zone a little bit, but that tight spin allowed it to dive a little quicker than usual. So he thought he was right on it. And all of a sudden that ball just died away.
And that's what you'll see a lot of the swings over the top of a high spin rate breaking ball, because hitters they see spin at the last second and they go to where they think the ball is going to be within the strike zone, and that's where they take the bat path too. But a lot of times, because it's breaking so much, like that one, swing's going to be just over the top of it. Boy, Kyle Bradish, when he needed it most. How about that? Runner at third, only 1 out. How about back-to-back strikeouts on that breaking ball? Orioles up 3-0, going to the bottom of the 4th.
Orioles baseball brought to you by your Baltimore area Toyota dealers. For legendary safety and reliability, choose Toyota. Let's go places. Bring us some more donuts.
Those donuts.
Oh, look at that. Deedle's Donuts. Yeah, sprinkle the whatever that is on top. Whatever it is, it's sugary goodness. Colorful, sugary goodness. Is it good for your health? Yes, because
Absolutely.
It makes you happy. Available every Sunday home game rest of the year. As Ryan O'Hearn bats against George Soriano. And there's a strike at the plate. Soriano on in relief of Steven Okert in the first. Marlins went with the opener. Soriano is the bulk pitcher. And he has retired all 8 batters he's faced. This is the last one he hadn't faced. And he's 2-1 on Ryan O'Hearn. O'Hearn back in the lineup today, with the Orioles expecting to see more right-handed pitchers. Ryan Mountcastle back on the bench today after a double yesterday. And Ryan Mountcastle talked to Rock Kabako yesterday about his role with the team, and I really doesn't mind right now just being in and out of the lineup. If that's what it takes to win. He knows he'll be getting a lot of playing time available off the bench. The stacked roster right now. 14 position players. I mean, a bench today of Mullins, Hicks, Mountcastle, Westberg, and Mateo. And I know a couple of those guys are banged up.
That's a pretty good bench, though.
That might be the best bench Brandon Hyde's ever had. 3-2. And Ryan's over the top of a slider. This is pretty impressive from George Soriano, the big league rookie.
Yeah, 9 in a row he has retired. And look, it's 3 above average pitches. The fastball not only has good velocity, but it's got a lot of movement to it. A little backdoor breaking ball. He's shown a really good changeup as well. Something the Marlins seem to always have is pitching.
Ramon Urias popped out against Soriano.
You know, and going back to what Mountcastle said, you know, and that's the difference in this team for the Orioles. It's a young team, it's a hungry team, and they all want to do well and they want their playing time, but they're also invested in each other and the bigger goal. And the bigger goal is winning, and winning ball games any way you can. I was talking to Cole Irving yesterday. He says, look, I want to be a starting pitcher, but listen, I'll help this team in any role I can. If they feel like I can better serve this team and help win ball games in the bullpen, that's where I'll go, you know. And I think all these players feel that way, you know, is that, hey, they have individual goals, they have things they want to accomplish, but they also realize what's on the front of the jersey means more than what's on the back of the jersey.
And that's the way the '89 team was. I mean, it takes an entire team to win, and everybody has to have a part of it, and that's where this ball club is here. You know, even though you're not playing as much maybe as you want to, you know, once you get in there, you get the job done. If you're feeling off, or you feel like you're not where you should be, once you get in the game, you won't succeed like you want to play. That
old basketball coach told me one time, the best potential of me is we. if we are doing well together, I'm going to get my chance to shine. We will all shine at some point in time.
There's ball 4 to Ramon. Orioles' first walk of the game for Arias. Tony Mansolino's mic'd up with us today. Let's hear what's going on down at third.
2 road trips ago, I made the comment that we need to get some rain, man. Maybe get like a BP rained out, maybe lose a game, get a break, you know, off the field. And it has not stopped raining since. It's rained every day that we've been here. So I guess I'll take the bold on that one.
Oh, be careful what you wish for.
Well, at least now we know who to blame.
We said that one time back in Louisiana. It'd be nice to get some rain. We're in a drought and we got a hurricane. Be careful.
Well, that's rain.
Yeah. The Orioles did not have a home rain delay until June 23rd, and then they had a rain delay that day against Seattle. Then they had a couple of rain delays on Monday against the Reds, then a rain delay Tuesday. Aaron Hicks apparently is the one who's gotten blamed for this, but it's right around when Jordan Westbrook came up, although a couple of days after he came up when the rain really started hitting. But it's good to know that it's neither Aaron nor Jordan's fault. It's apparently all Tony. He jinxed us all. 0-1 to Colton Cowser, who is looking, by the way, for his first Camden Yards hit. Made his home debut yesterday off the bench as a pinch runner for Cedric Mullins. Went 0 for 3. Score a run and a ground out in the first inning today. Cowser 3 for 20 to start his big league career. Does have a couple of RBIs, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts. And that one drills him. It's not his first Camden Yards hit. It is his first Camden Yards hit by pitch.
Boy, that's a real sweeping breaking ball there, huh?
Yeah.
That one took
it's
a
like down
quick
on
left.
shin bone. Let's see here.
Oh.
Not much meat there.
Right on the inside of the knee, too.
Mel Stottlemyre Jr. after Soriano's walked and hit the last 2 batters. Last thing the Orioles need is another banged up outfielder. Mullins and Hicks both out of the lineup today. Quad tightness, sore knee, respectively, and so Cowser gets drilled around the knee, and he is going to stay in the game.
He's definitely feeling it, though.
Outside of obviously the head, where is the worst place to get hit if you're a batter?
Elbow, something like that.
Yeah.
Hands, you know, where there's not a lot of meat. But, you know, like Ben was talking about yesterday, you know, the adrenaline's going to kick in, and he'll be just fine, hopefully.
After the game, you may look back on it, right? But
oh, yeah. Tonight, waking up tomorrow.
we'll stick it out for now. Arias to second, Cowser at first. Here's Adam Frazier in a 3-0 game, and Frazier takes ball 1.
But now, you know, a lot of these guys are wearing those elbow pads, which helps with that.
Adam 4 for 6 in the series coming into the game. Now 4 for 7 after a flyout. Well, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs on Friday night. First 2-homer game of his career, 905th career game. Tied a career high with those 4 ribbies as well.
Yeah, I mean, locked in. Like, he's not missing. Not chasing balls out of the zone, typically. And when he gets a pitch, it's a pitch a little hard.
Oh, boy. Back-to-back hit batters in 2-0 counts. Soriano has completely lost the roadmap.
This is strange, right? I mean, Soriano comes in, retires 9 in a row. Then he walks Arias. And he's hit Cowser and Frazier back-to-back batters to load the bases. And that ball is nowhere close. I mean, look where Stallings the catcher, is set up on the outside part of the plate. Look where he jumped to. Jeez. And if you miss by a foot, you miss by a lot. You miss by 3.5 feet.
Right.
So the last 3 hitters have seen 11 pitches, 1 strike. Last night's losing pitcher, Huáscar Brazoban, warming up here in the 4th.
He's going to need a hat before he can come into the game.
You think?
That's a first. I don't think I've seen anybody warm up without a hat.
James McCann. After all that wildness, well-located slider. McCann's first start since the break.
Again here, you know, McCann should be looking for the ball up in his zone to hit the ball deep to the outfield. That first pitch was down and away. It's not really a first pitch you want to swing out with runner in third and scoring position.
Soriano's not showed me anything to the inside part of the plate, the right-handed. So if you're batting right now, you got to be looking middle away for a ball, I would think.
Yes.
Only 8 RBIs on the year for McCann, who takes a strike. 184, 220 on base. He's had a pretty big disparity all season between his expected numbers based on quality of contact and his actual numbers, but hard time getting going with injuries and playing sparingly. 2-2 to James.
Yeah, Soriano's staying down. He's trying to create that ground ball. He's looking for a double play to get off the field. These are 2 teams that can really turn double plays. Both of them top 10 in the league and turning double plays so far this year.
Marlins have turned 83 in 94 games. 2-2 here. And McCann hits a ground ball, and it kicks off the glove of Wendell. Ping-ponging to third, and Segura couldn't get the tag there in time. The Orioles catch a break and score a run. It's 4-0 on a ground ball that got away from Joey Wendell.
21st best defense in baseball according to fielding percentage. And I'm still trying to figure out where Joey Wendell was going with this ball, because he turned. Watch him turn his body just when the ball gets to him. Try to see where he. Oh yeah, he's looking. He is looking over to third base, and that ball just hopped up on him. Watch him pick his head up right there. He picked his head up, and that cost him. The ball hits right in the heel of the glove and kicks up, and the Orioles catch a break.
Fielder's choice E6. O's have him still loaded, and the Marlins go back to the bullpen.
Move! Stay there! On the bag!
Tony Mansolino needed to make sure Colton Cowser didn't stray. And that ground ball kicked off Joey Wendell's glove to Gene Segura. Fielder's choice E6. RBI for James McCann makes it 4-0. And now Huáscar Brazoban going to face Gunnar Henderson for a second straight night.
Yeah, this is what Gunnar Henderson did last night off of Brazoban. I'm playing the very first pitch he saw. He did not miss it a ton out toward right center field. First career game tying home run in the 7th inning or later. It was Henderson's 14th long ball of the year.
And Brazoban is thrust instantly into the danger zone. First pitch swinging again into right field. It's caught, but that is going to bring in a 5th run. Cowser slides in. It's a sacrifice fly. A nice play by Soler to get the out, but another RBI for Henderson on the first pitch and a 5-0 lead.
Hitters are so smart, right? What pitch did Henderson hit out last night? A breaking ball, right? So he said, all right, he's not going to throw me a breaking ball. He's going to throw me the heater, and I'm going to be on time for the heater. And he got one and was on time
for it. He was ready for it. Solid hit, great play in right field.
Tag! 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 Go, go, go! Come on!
You better be concise if you're a third base coach.
Yeah, ball's up in the air. You know, first thing you do as a runner on third base with less than 2 outs is get back to the bag.
Yeah, and that's why Tony was hollering.
Yeah, he was hollering because he wasn't getting back.
Right, because if the ball drops in, right, you can walk home.
You make it.
So you get back to the bag when the ball gets in the air. And that's what he was hollering about. Yeah.
So Henderson a double, a ground out, a sac fly. Frazier took third on that play. It's 5-0, and here's Adley. Well, Braziban's got really good stuff and really good numbers, but we saw the Orioles attack him last night. Faced 5 batters, 4 reached on hits, and gave up 2 runs. And the Orioles were awfully aggressive. 3 of the 5 batters put the first pitch in play, and all 3 batters who did so had hits. Rutschman waited until 2-2 and had a single. And on 0-2, Adley drives it the other way. Well struck, but right at De La Cruz in the deepest part of the park. No hits, 2 runs, an odd but productive Oriole fourth. Brought to you by PNC Bank, helping to make a difference. On a day where the Orioles don't have Felix Bautista or Yennier Cano available, in all likelihood, they've got a 5-0 lead through 4 against the Marlins. Kevin Brown, Ben McDonald, and Mike Devereaux, along with Melanie Newman, Jason Lockett-Fora, and our massive team. Austin Hayes T-shirt day. Splash Zone is decked out as always, and all sorts of aquatic themed instruments, and it's been a busy day for the Splash Zone.
Yeah.
5 runs, 4 hits, 3 extra base hits so far for the O's.
It was early. Back-to-back doubles, then a homer.
And through it all, Kyle Bradish, 1 hit, 1 walk, 1 hit batter, and 5 strikeouts. Continues to look like, frankly, a frontline starter.
Yeah.
ERA is at 3.17.
I mean, his last 5 starts going into this one, 1.74 ERA.
We're still a long ways away from the postseason. This game 92. Orioles going to have to keep playing well. They're going to have to fend off Toronto and the Yankees and Boston and maybe Houston and who knows who else. It's a crowded field. We are quite a bit away. Kyle Bradish looks like a pitcher who the Orioles are going to feel like they can really trust in September and for as much of October as they get to.
You know, the only question about Bradish is, like Dean Kramer, like Tyler Wells, will the innings begin to mount enough to the point where the stuff is just not the same? You know, just haven't been here before and pitched a full season at the big league level, and that's the big question.
Joey Wendell here, and he strikes out looking. Bradish runs the sinker back over the plate. He struck out 3 in a row and 6 overall.
And I'm telling you what, he is heavy. I feel like a little heavier on the sinker today than in past time. This is well done. You can see that ball move quickly left to right. And that's what we're talking about. Bradish's 3 of his 4 pitches are going to move right to left. That's the one that he keeps the hitters honest with right there. Yeah, sinking fastball, 16%. So that's about on target for what he's done for the most part. Slider 41% so far today. Now that's up because typically he throws it just about 30% of the time.
2 strikeouts on that sinker, though, and he usually doesn't get many strikeouts at all on that pitch. Jacob Stallings, and a 1-1 count.
Yeah, I went back and looked at his last 5 starts leading into this one for Bradish. So his first pitch strike percentage is up about 8 or 9 points. That's big because he's putting hitters on defense right away. Okay, he's throwing strike 1. He's attacking hitters early. Then he's using the slider a little bit more than what he did in his previous starts. I mean, it is all synced up today, throwing the ball exactly where he wants to. And that's what I always like to do. I like to watch the catcher. I like to see where McCann sets up, where the glove is, and then how close the ball's coming to hitting those gloves. You see McCann's on the outside part of the plate. We'll see if he can get it out there. Yeah, look at that. That's just perfect. I mean, you can't do it any better than that.
You really can't.
I mean, that's like playing a video game.
Makes it real tough as a hitter. Real tough.
McCann just rocks out there and says, all right, right-hander, give it to me right here on the corner. And that is perfectly done by Kyle Bradish.
See how that ball comes back? Oh.
Another strikeout on a sinker. 7 strikeouts in the game for Kyle. 4 consecutive Ks. Here's Dane Myers. Kyle Bradish's velocity is up compared to his season average on every pitch today. And his break is a little bit down, which is not necessarily a bad thing, as that ball breaks right through him. Myers with the Marlins' second hit of the game.
Yeah, a couple extra days off, you know, a little bit stronger coming out, which can be a good thing if you get through the first inning.
It's just to finish the thought on that vertical break, horizontal break is a little bit tighter than average, which is not always a bad thing, because there's some real sharpness. There's some late bite we're seeing to Bradish's sinker and his breaking balls in this game. Luis Arise. First pitch strikes today, those have been good as well. 11 to 19 batters. Arise into left field. Hayes was well in. Hayes tracks it back, and Arise is 0 for 3. Kyle Bradish looking like an ace again. 5 zeros at Oriole Park. Miller Lite moment. Anthony Santander homered in the first inning. This is how it looked in the bird bath.
Gotta love this.
Look at Mr. Splash. He can't wait to get everybody wet.
You're noticing fewer and fewer shirts in the bird bath as the season goes along, too. Anthony ignited it with a 2-run homer. He will lead off this inning. The Orioles started the game with 4 straight hits. They don't have a hit since. They scored 2 runs on a walk, 2 hit batters, an error, and a sac fly in the 4th inning, and they lead 5-0. Looking for a sweep of the Marlins, trying to get to 57 and 35. Trying to win their 8th consecutive game, and they will face a very familiar face to baseball fans, unfamiliar in this uniform, 37-year-old Johnny Cueto, who makes only the 3rd relief outing in 357 career games.
Yeah, on his rehab assignments, he did not pitch well down at AA and AAA either. There's some concern about Johnny Cueto. Just making his 2nd appearance of the year. Only worked that 1 inning.
And Cueto will start his 2nd game to Anthony Santander with a strike at 89. 37 years old, Dominican Republic. Terrific career. Reds, Royals, Giants, White Sox. And a World Series champion with Kansas City in 2015. Johnny Cueto. That ball was nicely snagged by a fan. Big part of that Royals team. Had a Game 2 win in that series. Cueto won the World Series with Kansas City, and he has pitched in the postseason with the Reds, with the Royals, and with the Giants.
Yeah, 143 career victories for Cueto. And a very good career ERA, 3.46, closing in on 2,200 innings pitched in his career.
It's one of the real characters in the game, too, with his herky-jerky motion, his personality. You can see the stop and start there. Hasn't always had to rely on that. He's had more dominant stuff in the past. The velocity, the movement, not quite the same now. He can still be effective, though. We saw last year with the White Sox a 3.35 ERA. That ball's popped up by Santander right at Dane Myers, and Anthony is 1 for 3. Host Families Kids Cheer Free, presented by Baltimore area Chick-fil-A Restaurants, is back for each regularly priced individual upper deck game ticket. Add up to 2 more valid for kids 9 and under for free. Visit Orioles.com/kids free. Austin Hayes lifts this Cueto pitch into left center field. Myers is on the case again, and Hayes is 1 for 3. All right, let's take a look at Drew Goldfarb's FanDuel same game parlay picks. Pretty simple one today. Orioles money line, which means simply the Orioles have to win, and the under 8.5 total runs. And Right now the game is at 5. Those same game parlay odds plus 189, courtesy of FanDuel. Strike one to Ryan O'Hearn, who's popped out and struck out. And O'Hearn lines one into left, and Johnny Cueto's got a 1-2-3 inning in his second big league game of the year. 5-0 O's through 5. Anytime, anywhere on the Masson app. Watch games live, receive expert analysis and player stats all in the palm of your hands. Don't miss a pitch. Download the Masson app today. Kevin Brown, Ben McDonald, Mike Devereaux up here in the booth. The Orioles leading the Marlins 5-0. This is a Marlins team that has only been swept by the Braves this season, and the Orioles are looking to sweep them to begin the post All-Star break portion of the year, the unofficial second half. Kyle Bradish has been as big a reason why they've got this 5-0 lead.
This Marlins team, look, was a hot team coming in. I mean, they'd won, what, 4 of their last 5 series. They just beat the Phillies 2 of 3 just before the All-Star break, and were playing well.
It's a ball on the field. That's why the game was stopped. Marlins are 1-9 against the Braves. Against everybody else, they're 52-32.
They were 16-8 over their last 24 games coming into this series with the Marlins.
Well, Kyle Bradish loves pitching interleague baseball, and a career-high strikeout game against the Cardinals last year in his 3rd game. Struck out 11. 10 strikeouts against the Brewers this year. 316 the Orioles, 6-2 in his 8 interleague starts career. And that's going to help out with strikeout number 8 as he freezes Soler.
Wow. That's the old front door breaking ball there. So you start him and you get a little bit of a jelly leg here, you know, because you see it at you as a hitter. And again, you talk about this high spin rate, the late break, and he just catches the inside part just above the belt for a strikeout.
Soler is down twice on strikes, 1 for 10 in the series. There's another curveball. Garrett Cooper, one of the Marlins' only 2 hits. You talk about, Ben, the difficulty sometimes of having both breaking balls working at the same time. Why does Kyle seem to be able to do that more often?
He's one of the few that consistently can throw a curveball. Not many guys throw a curveball and a slider very consistent, because a lot of times they'll kind of morph into one.
That ball right down to Ramon at 3rd. He gobbles up out number 2.
Well, that's why Ramon Arias was a Gold Glover at 3rd base last year. He can do it in the field. Always seems to come up with a big hit or two in big moments, but over at 3rd base, he is as good as anybody. Just a line drive hooking toward the line, but right to the backhand side. Again, nose behind the glove where he can see it all the way into the glove. Watch where his nose is. Right behind the ball.
He knew he had it all the way.
5 2/3 on 76 pitches. And gets a strike there with a curveball. So Kyle Bradish has now thrown 6 straight breaking balls after a sinker to open the inning. So you want to be a big league hitter.
I'll tell you what, it looks a lot easier than it is when you're watching it on film.
Yuli Gurriel's flight out to right, grounded out to second. 39-year-old takes ball 2. And we're assuming no Bautista or Cano today. Brandon Hyde has never thrown either one of them 3 games in a row. So you might need a little bit more of a cushion today to feel safe. And Bradish is providing some length once more. Gurriel slices one to right. Santander's there, and on 80 pitches, Kyle Bradish once again completes 6 shutout.
How many hits you get yesterday? Did you win the competition yesterday? I think you did, right? Gunnar had 1. Yeah, just got to beat Gunnar again today. Can't let and you can't let Hauser get more hits than you one day. That wouldn't be good. And he's never gonna stop talking. Right now, I got Adley and Gunnar telling me how today they're not gonna let you get more hits than them. So they're telling me. They said that if you get more hits than them, you're not going to stop talking. So right now, they're playing every day to get more hits than you. That's what they tell me every day. It's unbelievable. You don't even know this is going on, do you? It's unbelievable.
Cows is worried about his knee right now.
That is next level motivation.
That's
from
how you get
Anso.
them pumped. That's right. I love it.
Our T-Mobile coverage
it.
camp. T-Mobile customers get free MLB TV. Redeem now through April 3rd at T-Mobile.com/MLB. Gunner's got one hit. Adley's got one hit. Colton's been hit by one pitch. Cowser is next up after Ramon Urias against Johnny Cueto. And Urias pops a high fastball out of play to the right side. They're loose, these Orioles. They really are. The chemistry has been finely tuned from day one this year and really from last season. Wondered if it would be the same kind of clubhouse environment with a few outgoing players. The incoming players have picked up the leadership, picked up the good attitude. Kyle Gibson, Adam Frazier, Ryan O'Hearn, Cole Irvin, and then guys like Austin Hayes and Cedric Mullins who've been here for a while, and Aaron Hicks, who's fit in, signing in May. Good vibes only. When you're 56 and 35, why not? Urias 0 for 2 with a walk. $10 Utah Street bleacher seats are available all season long, Monday through Thursday. Home games featuring a great view of center field and close to the excitement of Utah Street. Buy your tickets at Orioles.com/tickets. Another great crowd on a Sunday today. 28,000 plus yesterday. Upper deck is packed today. Folks from Autumn Lake Healthcare, which is a New Jersey-based operator of nursing homes and long-term care facilities. They do have offices here. Bought more than 12,000 tickets for their employees, part of their family day. A whole lot of those folks are milling about the upper deck. So it's another great environment. What's been a terrific series. Great weekend to start the second half. And the Orioles one win away from a sweep to start the second half. Well, now Colton needs a hit. I mean, the pressure's on.
Yes, he does.
Johnny Cueto, who's facing the 9,117th batter of his career. Colton Cowser, who's batting for the 27th time in his major league career.
Quite a difference right there.
Former Cy Young runner-up Johnny Cueto, been in the top 6 in the Cy Young voting 3 times, 2-time All-Star. And Cowser flails a ground ball over to a rise.
Yeah, Cueto's best year was what, with the Reds? I think he won 20 games back in 2014. Very good ERA. ERA below 2.5 that year. Won 19 another year, 18. So he's had some really big years.
He has that quirky windup that's inconsistent. And as a hitter, you know, it changes up and doesn't make it too easy.
In a lot of seasons that 2014 would have been Cy Young worthy. 20-9, 225, 34 starts, 243 and 2/3 innings led the league, 242 strikeouts led the league, but Clayton Kershaw just happened to go 21-3, 177, so he got all the first place votes. Even though Cueto threw 45 1/3 more innings that year. Adam Frazier, high, deep, and foul.
Yeah, you better not play around too often on the inside part of the plate with Frazier right now, because he is getting to some balls down and in.
I mean, he doesn't even pick up his front foot, and he gives himself so much time to hit.
A little bit of history between these two. Frazier is 3 for 13, a double and a walk against Cueto. Couple of home runs on Friday night. Now a career high with 12. Match the jersey number.
Which is a really good number.
Fabulous number 12.
Yes.
I saw a Devo jersey. Where was that Devo jersey? Yeah, I was at the second deck. Yeah, I was waving at you before the game.
Yeah, like seeing that. Makes me feel good.
You can just hold your Austin Hayes t-shirt up to a mirror. Pretend the 2-1 is a 1-2. Into center, Myers calls off Soler. 2 perfect innings out of the pen for Johnny Cueto. Still a 5-0 Oriole lead.
The update brought to you by PNC, helping to make a difference. Red Sox with a 1-0 lead over the Cubs. That game in the bottom of the 4th up in Wrigleyville. Blue Jays 3-2. They're at home, leading the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Yankees and the Rays games both getting underway just now. So a full slate of AL East action for you here as we continue to track if the Orioles can, in fact, overtake the Rays. The winning streak is certainly marveling what the Rays were able to do in the beginning of the season, guys. But going for some historic numbers here, again, a 6th sweep, an 8th consecutive win. We'll let you know if we can add a shutout to that list as well after this one is over on O's Extra, presented by PNC.
All right, Mel, we'll see you there. 7 straight wins have the Orioles within 2 of Tampa in a red-hot American League East. Kyle Bradish threw 6 scoreless on 80 pitches and now threw 6 1/3 scoreless on 81 pitches. Brian De La Cruz flies out to right. You got to go a long way back to find when Kyle Bradish last gave up a run. It's now 14 1/3 scoreless in a row. 1 run in his last 23 1/3 innings with that out. 6 runs in his last 37 1/3 innings. That's a 1.45 ERA in that span. He has been just a joy to watch this season, and particularly this last month and a half or so.
Yeah, I mean, I think it begins with fastball command. And we talked about the fastball. It's been hit pretty hard at times this year. 4-seam fastball was opponents hitting 371 off of that one coming in. But that number's been steadily coming down here as of late. But I keep going back to first pitch strikes with him because there was a time last year and even the year before where it seemed like a lot of the pitches were ball one. And he was constantly pitching. But he had enough stuff to still be competitive and get guys out. But anytime he has the stuff that he has with the 2 breaking balls that he does, and he can put hitters in the hole right away like he has, it's a game changer for him.
1-2 on Gene Segura.
You see he's late on those 2 fastballs, just trying to be aware of that off-speed pitch that makes Bradish so effective.
There's your number 2/3 first pitch strikes for Kyle Bradish today. Segura's lined out softly to second, struck out swinging. Marlins have 2 hits, 1 walk, 1 hit batter. Another one knocked out of play. Bradish threw 6 shutout innings last start against the Yankees. 6 innings, 1 run against Minnesota the previous start. 7 innings, 2 runs against Seattle before that. Segura lofts one again into shallow right. Another play for Santander. 3 straight flyouts to him. Host fans, share the magic of Orioles baseball and start planning your next group outing. From clients to colleagues, sports teams, schools, family, and friends. Orioles group tickets offer a wide variety of seating and pricing options to fit any group need. Visit Orioles.com/groups for more information. We've seen Kyle Bradish throw 7 innings, 2 out of his last 5 starts. That's his high water mark for the season. 1 out away from matching it as he misses to Joey Wendell. There still has not been an Oriole reliever throwing in the bullpen after a night where we saw Cole Irvin warm up in the 2nd yesterday. That's nasty.
Yes, it is.
He's just attacking, you know, and that's what pitchers are supposed to do. Supposed to attack hitters. You know, a lot of people think pitching is defense. Pitching's not defense. Pitching is offense. It's about attacking. And that's what Bradish has done as of late.
To first, O'Hearn. 7 scoreless innings for Kyle Bradish. We're getting used to this kind of thing around here. 15 in a row without allowing a run.
It's about that time. to it is all. Quick draw like we gotta take a shot at the stall. Got him in all, get you what you need in the call. Really got my feet up by this spark cigar like hello. It's about that time, get to it. It's about that time, get to it. It's about that time, get to it. It's about that time, get to it.
A happy Sunday for everybody, including our own Dana Miller, who's celebrating his 40th birthday today out there in center field. Happy 4-0, Dana. Hope you wanted an Orioles win because so far that would look like an appropriate gift. It's 5-0 here at the 7th inning stretch. Kevin Brown, Mike Devereaux, Ben McDonald back with you. The Orioles had 4 hits in a row to start the first inning. No hits since. Doesn't really matter when Kyle Bradish pitching the way he does.
No, I mean, Bradish, working on his 4th consecutive quality start. He's been as good as anybody in baseball going back 6 or 7 starts now, you know, and he's getting ahead. He's pumping in strike one. And it always helps when you get 3 runs early in the ball game. The Orioles got out quickly in the first inning, put a 3 spot up for him.
And a big home run devo from Anthony Santander, his 100th career in that first inning.
Yeah, you got to love that. I mean, they jumped on him fast, really fast, and that's the way you want to start the game off.
2 runs in the 4th inning without the benefit of a hit. The Orioles have seen 4 Marlins pitchers today. Johnny Cueto, the latest, with 2 perfect innings in relief. Hoping to have a little more breathing room after 2 games that went down to the wire. 5-2 on Friday, game that was 3-2 into the bottom of the 8th, and then 6-5 yesterday. James McCann batting against Cueto, to be followed by Gunnar and Adley, 9-1-2. McCann picked up an RBI and a fielder's choice ground ball in the 4th. Two former White Sox players. They'll missed each other by a couple of years. McCann was with the Mets the last 2 seasons. Cueto was only with Chicago last year. Orioles 56-35. They've won 7 straight, the longest win streak since the 10-gamer last year.
That was in July too, wasn't it, though?
Was
the 10-gamer, yeah.
A quick pitch action right there.
That's Cueto, right? I mean, it's a high leg kick one time. Next time he'll spin, hesitate over the top of the rubber. Next time he'll just kind of almost a slide step out of the windup, if you will. Look at him.
And then there's that. Nice.
And then there's that.
Even nicer. The Orioles' first hit since the first inning, courtesy of James McCann.
Yeah, this is only, what, the 2nd time today the Orioles have got the leadoff guy on. It was Gunnar Henderson in the first inning, first batter of the game. That's a nice piece of hitting, huh, Devo?
Yes, got up on top of that high pitch.
That is hard to do.
Yes.
McCann with a hit and an RBI in his last 2 at-bats. Here's Gunnar, who doubled to lead off the game. This leadoff platoon has worked pretty well for the Orioles this year. Cedric Mullins early, and then when he got hurt, a lot of Austin Hayes against lefties. And Gunnar Henderson's become the primary leadoff hitter against righties.
They're 2 tough pitches right there.
37-year-old Johnny Cueto. Gunnar just able to brush that one away.
Well, this could be a boost for the Marlins. You know, if Cueto comes back and can be effective, and you get him back into the rotation. Because this is a team, what, still 2nd place in the National League East, still in the top wild card spot in the National League.
Johnny Cueto, the 7th most wins of any active pitcher technically, though. Cole Hamels has still not returned. The Padres are hoping he'll come back at some point this year. Verlander, Greinke, Scherzer, Kershaw, Wainwright, Hamels, and Cueto. Those are the top 7 active winningest pitchers. Johnny Cueto in his 16th major league year, 143 wins, 3.46 ERA, nearly 2,200 innings. You mentioned the struggles on rehab, though, Benny. Had a 9.11 ERA in 6 rehab starts. Biceps issue in spring training. Injured his left ankle on a rehab assignment.
And it's hard to judge rehab outings, especially for veteran guys like him, right? He's just down there working on stuff, trying to get his work in. You know, now, of course, he is older, and stuff's not quite the same.
He strikes out Gunnar Henderson on a changeup. There's Cueto's first K.
Cueto's got them all, and he's got them from different arm angles, a couple of different breaking balls, fastball, and he can do this too. He can turn over a really good changeup.
Fourth strikeout for Marlins pitching today. All 1-2 Rutschman.
Marlins come in with what, the 4th most strikeouts in baseball as a staff. Don't walk a lot of guys, but they'll be buyers at the deadline. I would think they're going to go out and look for a bat. That offense, they need a little bit on the offensive side. Wouldn't hurt for a pitcher either.
Talked to Mike Elias on Friday, and it's going to be an instructive couple of weeks here to see which teams maybe in the next 7 to 10 days fall out of the race. So who might be selling at the deadline? Cueto's old team, the White Sox, certainly look like a seller, 39 and 55. Kansas City, Oakland, Colorado, Washington, you figure will all be sellers. The Cardinals have really struggled, 39 and 53. Could they be willing to part with some players? And then one of the questions looming over the sport, would the Angels really do it?
They got to.
Would they really trade Shohei Ohtani as Rutschman swings away?
I mean, you hate to do it, but if I'm the GM of the Angels, I cannot let Ohtani walk and not get something, because he's not coming back. Like, I think Shohei Ohtani is too much of a competitor. He wants to be in the playoffs. He wants to win a World Series. And I don't think he feels like he can do that with the Angels if he comes back. So for me, he's moving. Like, he's gone. So why would you not? And if you love him that much, get what you can get for him now. And if you love him that much, you think you can sign him back, go back in the offseason and get him.
Angels are 46 and 47. They're 2 and 10 in their last 12. Would you trade him?
And
Trout's hurt.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to. You know, the guy wants to win, just like Ben said. I mean, he is definitely a competitor. And the situation he is right now, he's just not having that with the Angels.
They have fallen well out of the playoff picture. Rutschman the other way.
And Mike Trout's still on the IL, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so he's, I mean, so even makes it a little more difficult.
Exactly.
Orioles are going to go to Anaheim in September. For a while, it looked like maybe this was an Angels team with all their additions, Renfroe and Drury and Urshela. And a good year from Sandoval and a better bullpen that maybe was going to finally make a push, but they have fallen out of it again. 7th pitch to Adley. And a ground ball gobbled up by Arise. And the Marlins can only get one. Rutschman beats the throw to first. Fielder's choice goes 4-6, and McCann is out at second.
This was a nice play by Arise. Yes. Like, not only can he hit, he can play the field too. Look where he ranges to, and all the way across his body. I mean, a perfect feed over the window, who gives it a shot, but Rutschman hustling down the line, avoids the double play.
I didn't think they had a shot at two originally.
So Anthony Santander smacked a breaking ball for a 2-run home run as a right-handed hitter in the first. Here's how it looked.
105 off the bat, 428 feet.
Off the robot, Stephen Okert. That's where it traced into the bullpen. Some serious arc on a pitch that was nearly in the dirt.
Yes, down in the zone. Went down and got it.
What part of your swing needs to be particularly instinctive to hit a ball that low?
Well, he's kind of looking for a faster pitch, a fastball, but he keeps that bat in the zone. And since the ball's a little off speed, he has to get down to get it just a little bit more and just stays through the ball, keeps that bat head in the zone longer period of time.
Was that the hardest thing for you, is not to let your weight drift forward versus trying to sit and be firm and then throw the hands at it at the end?
Exactly.
That was the biggest struggle as a hitter?
Exactly. The more you move forward, the more you go forward, the faster the ball's going to get to you.
Because your head's moving too,
exactly.
Right?
Everything's moving. You want to stay stationary. You want to keep that head balanced and right there. So I try to, if I'm going after the ball, I'm at a disadvantage for the fastball. But what Anthony did on that one was he stayed back and then recognized the off-speed pitch and then kept that bat in the zone long and was able to get down and through it.
KB, you might not know this. Well, you probably do. Mike swung one of the biggest bats I ever saw. And he's not a small guy. He's not a big guy. How big was the bat you swung? How many inches, how many ounces?
35, 36.
35-inch, 36-ounce bat. That's almost unheard of in today's game. Why such a big bat?
Well, I was swinging at 34, 32, and I was pulling off the ball a little bit, and just enough to not be on the barrel. And I said, let me just add that inch, because for some reason I wasn't making that adjustment to stay back. Let me just add an inch and see what's happening. Let me just throw ahead and add another 2 ounces on it, which would have been a 35, 34, so I could just let the bat work.
I mean, most guys are swinging bats that are, what, 32, 33-ounce bats?
Exactly.
You're swinging a 36.
But I ordered 34-ounce bat. They sent 36s. I did not
know it at the time?
I did not know it.
Come on.
So when you figured it out, you were hitting well, and you're like, this is what I'm going with. Did you choke? You didn't choke up either.
No, I didn't. I felt strong. Then I was like, I'm a man. That's what I think. I'm a man now. So,
yeah, because there was nobody swinging a bat that big. Nobody.
No, I just let the bat work. And Cal was the one that said, man, this bat's heavy. I was like, no, it's a 34-ounce. We weighed them. They're all 36s.
Oh. That was your bat mitzvah.
Yes.
Anthony Santander with a 4-pitch walk. Here is Austin Hayes. That is a heavy bat. Wow, 35, 36.
I used to go around and pick their bats up when I got the Devos. I was like, what in the world is this guy swinging? Whereas Palomero swung a 31.5-ounce bat, like a feather. 31.5, 33.5, 31.5-ounce bat, and he just poked it through the zone.
He had so much control. I didn't have that kind of control. When I had a lighter bat, it made me want to do too much. So I figured I'd get a heavier bat and just kind of let the bat eat.
Hayes, sharp ground ball to short, and that's the end of the 7th. Kyle Bradish, 7 shutout innings in his bag. He's going to try for one more. Copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Orioles and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. Wave the Austin Hayes t-shirt and the Orioles hat high. A 5-0 lead for the O's through 7. Kevin Brown, Ben McDonald, Mike Devereaux here in the booth. Melanie Newman, Jason Lockenfora. Down below, our entire Masson crew with you on this Sunday. And Kyle Bradish is trying to do something he hasn't done all year. Get an out in the 8th. John Birdie pinch hits. And John Birdie takes a strike. Batting for the catcher, Jacob Stallings, after he pinch hit for the catcher Fortes last night. 0-2. Kyle Bradish has only gotten an out in the 8th inning twice before. 2 times last year, both against the Houston Astros. And
that's right.
Just 91 pitches today.
He went 8, and then he went 8 2/3, if I remember right, against the Astros last year. 8 2/3. You got to get that last out, don't you?
You'd like to.
Oof. There's big Brian Baker getting heated up that Oriole bullpen.
Got Birdie, Myers, and then Arise. 8-9-1. Birdie smacks one to right field. Right at Santander. A pretty well struck ball, but poorly located unless you're an Oriole. And Bradish is through 7 1/3.
There you go. Longest outing of the year. Well, it's been fun to watch. Now at 93 pitches. And in a day he needed to do it too, right? Because you felt like could be a close game. You felt like Bautista and Cano were both going to be down. And the Orioles starters continued to give length, which was a problem early in the year.
That's what makes winning ball clubs, when you can be in a situation like this and have a starting pitcher go this length.
Tanner Scott, yeah. Yeah, I mean, Devo, when we were playing years ago, I mean, the bullpen, people don't believe this, but the bullpen had 5 guys in it. That's all there was 5 guys down there.
Right.
Now it's 8, you know, because we were expected to go into the 7th just about every start. I mean, that was where you were supposed to be.
Exactly.
Myers been a thorn in Bradish's side today. Kyle with an 0-2 count. And he just missed off the outside corner. 95 pitches for Bradish. Season high is 103 against Seattle back on June the 25th. A season high 7 1/3 innings. He has struck out 8. And Myers takes in the dirt ball 2.
Yeah, I've always viewed Kyle Bradish as a command pitcher. In other words, he commands the zone. But here lately, he is really, I mean, a control pitcher, right? But now lately, he's really commanding the zone. That's what I'm seeing. Because I'm just watching McCann. And again, I like to watch the glove and where he sets up and where the ball is. I always felt like Bradish attacked over the white part of the plate. But now I see him attacking the certain quadrants of the strike zone. And I don't think it's uncommon. I mean, Bradish, you got to remember, he's only 26 years old. And it's typically into your mid to late 20s where you start to figure your body out. You figure your mechanics out a little bit. You can kind of tell when it's off a little bit. And then you know how to fix it during the game and continue forward. And I think that's where Bradish has gotten.
3-2 now for Myers, with Baker ready to go in the bullpen. And Arise ready to go on deck. Arise, the first of 8 strikeouts for Kyle today. And Myers, a ground ball back behind Bradish's foot, fielded by Frazier, and a one-hop throw is there. Myers in disbelief behind the bag. Skip Schumacher will check it, and he will challenge it.
Yeah, ball wasn't hit very hard if Frazier had to go all the way up the middle. But Ryan O'Hearn, as good as he's been with the bat, I'm telling you what, he's been a difference maker at first base too. That's a tough pick right there.
That is tough.
Right off the dirt. Frazier getting everything he can get off of it, but yeah, I think this is going to be overturned here.
Yep.
I don't know if Myers was grabbing his head in disbelief or if he was immediately signaling challenge. But the Marlins will win this one, and Myers will be 2 for 2 with a walk. All right, so do you leave Bradish in if you're Brandon Hyde? That's the question. 99 pitches. Brian Baker is ready.
You know, for me, I want him to leave on something positive.
Exactly.
And that's a 0, right? I want him to be a 0 on the scoreboard. So if it's me, he's at 99 pitches or 100 pitches now. I go get him.
He's done his job. Well done at that.
I think the psyche of a starting pitcher is always really big, and how you, because, you know, we got to sit on it for 5 days. I got to sit on my outing. If I'm a reliever, I got a chance to get back in there the next day. I can flush. If I'm a position player, I'm right back in there the next day. But as a starting pitcher, I got to sit on my results. And even though it was a good, it'll leave a little bitter taste in your mouth if you give up 1 late, right?
Yes, yes. And that's, you know, I haven't been a pitcher since I was in high school, but that's why I look at it. I mean, as a hitter, if I have an 0 for 4, 0 for 5 day, I can change that the next day.
Right.
After review, the call on the field's overturned. The runner is safe. Miami will retain their challenge.
And that'll be it for Kyle Bradish after the infield hit. So you guys were spot on. Brandon Hyde's going to get him after 7 1/3. Kyle Bradish just keeps raising the bar. 6 scoreless his last time out. 7 1/3 scoreless today. Brilliant Bradish exits to a standing ovation.
The 26-year-old. It started off right away. Punches out Arise, the hardest guy there is to strike out in Major League Baseball. Threw that 2-seamer on the inside part of the plate, and then he got the breaking balls going. And when he gets them spinning like he had them today, he's going to rack up the punch outs, and he certainly did that. 8 strikeouts, only 1 walk, a season high 7 1/3 innings of work. So make it 4 consecutive quality starts for Kyle Bradish, and he has been as good as anybody as of late. And now it's time for our MedStar pitching change. Easy access to the same care Orioles trust. Visit medstarhealth.org to find care now.
The longest start for any Orioles starter this season, 7 1/3 innings. And Brian Baker is in there, and his first pitch is fouled away by Luis Arraez.
There's Baker's numbers on the year, making his 41st appearance. Solid ERA, 47 strikeouts in 37 2/3. Opponents only hitting .208 off the right-hander Baker.
Arraez with a pop-up. And baseball's hit king has had a harmless afternoon. 0 for 4, 3 air outs, 1 strikeout. And Baker has the Orioles' 23rd out. Well, no Orioles starter had gone this deep into a game, Ben. 7 1/3. Bradish is the first Orioles starter to get an out in the 8th this inning. And one of these days, Kyle Bradish is going to get the full 9. He was close last year, 8 2/3. He comes up 5 outs shy today. But with every start, feels like we get a little bit something different from Kyle Bradish. What did you think was different about today?
I thought his two-seamer, to me, had a little more life today. He used it about the same percentage he typically does, but he had some big pitches with it. And look, the breaking balls, as we touched on early, as always the key for Kyle Bradish. But I felt like he commanded the strikes on a day, and he put hitters on defense early with a lot of strike ones.
And he'll get a 0 in his score sheet ultimately as Brian Baker gets 2 outs. It's 5-0 in the 8th. MLBshop.com, the largest selection of authentic jerseys, caps, t-shirts, collectibles, and more. Gear up with your Orioles at MLBshop.com. Well, an old friend in an unfamiliar jersey, Tanner Scott, who had potential with the Orioles. He could never fully harness. But this year, he's been legitimately one of the best relievers in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, I mean, look, he struggled, and at times he flashed brilliance with the Orioles, but it wasn't as consistent as he wanted or the Orioles wanted it to be, but he's figured it out. Still just 28 years old. You see the ERA at 2.91. How about the strikeouts? 64 strikeouts and 43 1/3. It's still a big arm. Fastball's 96, 97 with a really good slider. So a 2-pitch mix, and he's going to use that slider a little bit more than he's going to throw his fastball.
Ryan Mountcastle will pinch hit. Old buddies matched up one more time as Mountcastle fouls off strike 1. Batting for Ryan O'Hearn. Ramon Urias, Colton Cowser due to follow. And Jacob Stallings replaced by John Birdie, a pinch hitter in the 8th inning. So Nick Fortes comes in to catch. Mountcastle pops it up. Myers in center field. And Tanner gets the better of Ryan for out number 1. Looks like Eduard Bazardo may have the 9th inning for the Orioles. 3 right-handers coming up. Baumann, Bautista, and Cano all pitched yesterday. .99 there from Scott to Ramon Urias. And you look at Tanner Scott's numbers. Strikeout rate, he struck out 37% of batters faced. That is in the top 2% in the league and by far a career high. Walk rate less than 10%. That is by far a career low. And as a result, his numbers are a lot better. He's allowing less hard contact than he ever has in his career. He's putting together a brilliant, dominant season.
Yeah, it was never about the stuff for Tanner Scott. The stuff was always there. The question was, could he get it in the zone and could he get it over the white part of the plate consistently enough to be a guy that you can count on? But he is certainly that guy right now. And it's a good back end that the Marlins have. You throw in A.J. Puck, who throws 100 miles an hour from the left side. And Tanner Scott at the back end as well.
99 painted, and Scott has thrown 6 straight strikes in his return to Baltimore, and he's got 2 outs.
Yeah, you think about that slider for a second. He just paints 99 on the outside part. Good luck.
We did not get any Scott versus Orioles last year. Didn't see the Marlins, so this is the first time Tanner throws against his old team, and he's just firing in darts.
Right at 100 right there.
Colt Cowser scored a run in the fourth after being hit by a pitch. Johnny Cueto, 3 innings, 1 hit, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, 50 pitches, 31 strikes. So promising sign for the veteran Cueto. Orioles scored 3 in the first off the opener Stephen Oker. 2 runs, 1 earned off George Soriano in the fourth. Marlins have used 5 pitchers today. The Orioles, who had gone 1-6 in a 7-game stretch, winners of their last 7, season high 21 games over 500. 3-1. Said the other day the Orioles were 20 over for the first time since 2014. They're now 21. They can be 22 over with a win. Continue to put pressure on Tampa Bay as Cowser works a walk. By the way, in Kansas City right now, it's 5-0 Royals in the fourth. So if these two 5-0 scores hold, or if the teams that are leading hold, Orioles would be 1 game back of the Rays after 92 games. Pinch hitter Jorge Mateo will bat for Adam Frazier. Is it too early to start scoreboard watching?
Yes and no.
That's kind of how I feel. We've got a long way left, but to be 1 game back with the way the Rays started was pretty amazing.
I just think it's about winning games right now. You know, I mean, you want to watch the scoreboard. I think you can't help but to watch it. But the truth is, the Orioles are in this stretch, and we talked about it in game 1 of this series, where 6 consecutive series beginning with this one against teams above 500, and 10 consecutive series after the break of teams that were supposed to be in the playoffs when the season began this year. So it is arguably the toughest stretch the Orioles are going to be in over their next 10 series, you know. But having said that, the Orioles have weathered the storm. I mean, we go back early in the year, we talked about that really tough stretch that they had. They didn't play, we said, well, if they play 500 ball, that's going to be really good. They played above that, you know, and so they've weathered every storm they've had, including what you said, losing 6 of 7 just before the break, before they got hot again.
Mateo digs one out to Wendell at short, and we'll go to the 9th inning. The Orioles in search of a shutout and in search of a sweep, leading by 5. Orioles in search of a sweep. If they get the sweep, that means Mike Devereaux would be 3-0 this season.
Hey, I
best winning percentage in the game.
You know, hey, the Orioles and you guys did me good. I'll tell you what, I had a great time, having a great time.
And you'll be back with us once more in August, but this has been quite the series for you to jump in on, Ed.
Yes, I love it. I love it. It's great. I'm telling you, you guys are great. Everybody has helped me here, and the Orioles are winning. Hopefully we get this game.
We all seem great when the Orioles win, I think. And 5-0, Kyle Bradish terrific. Brian Baker gets a couple of outs, and now Ben, it'll be Edward Bizardo trying to preserve the shutout.
Yeah, just making his 3rd appearance of the year. He's not allowed a run as of yet. Struck out 1 in his 2 innings of work. Opponent's hitting .222 off the right-hander, Bizardo.
By the way, you could have seen from that shot, we did put a pretty sizable dent into the donuts.
Yes, we did.
But we're saving some for post-game too. Some sweeps, some donut sweeps perhaps. Orioles make some defensive changes behind Bizardo, who is in the game to face the heart of the Marlins order, Cooper, Gurriel, and De La Cruz. Marlins with just 2 hits today. 3 hits against Kyle Bradish, beg your pardon. 1 walk, 1 hit batter. And Garrett Cooper, who has one of those hits, a double, takes a strike. Well, the whole infield is turned over here in the 9th inning. Gunnar Henderson went from short to 3rd. Jorge Mateo into the game at short. Ramon Urias from third to second. Ryan Mountcastle into the game at first. Uber versatility on this roster, and with 14 position players, Brandon Hyde is able to shuffle the deck time and again. 1-2 for Cooper. And he just got a piece. Talking to Bizzardo a couple of games ago, he feels like he has 5 pitches that have legitimately been working for him this year in AAA, and a splitter that he's started to feel more comfortable throwing to both sides of the plate. Haven't seen a ton of splitters yet, mainly sinker sliders since his return to the big leagues.
It's a good arm, though. I mean, fastball can tick up to 98. That one at 96.
No Felix Bautista today. No Yennier Cano. Both threw back-to-back days. Mike Baumann threw 30 pitches yesterday, so the Orioles would like to avoid him. And then the other 3 pitchers in the bullpen are lefties, so it's Bizzardo who gets the call right on right. Trying to get rid of Cooper to start the inning, and Cooper hooks one into left, and that plops in for the Marlins' 4th hit and Cooper's 2nd. Garrett Cooper trying to kickstart a Marlins rally with the 9th inning single. Orioles trying to improve to 29-18 at home. Win their 8th straight game. Would be their 2nd longest single season win streak since 2006, only exceeded by the 10-gamer July 3rd through the 13th a year ago. Inside 2-0 to Gurriel. And there is Mike Baumann, and there is Danny Coulombe alongside him. Ball 3. Here comes James McCann. Anything you notice here?
No, I mean, mechanically, I see the front shoulder flying just a little bit. In other words, when he goes down the slope, you want to keep your glove side, your front side in that target as long as you can. I see him opening up a little bit, and McCann might have recognized that. Just a little bit of a mechanical adjustment.
Third-year big leaguer, 27-year-old Eduard Bizzardo. He's having a great year in AAA. And that is a nasty sinker.
Throw that one again, huh? Watch the late movement on this one, left to right. Sinking fastball, watch it just dart to the right. Outstanding.
Payoff pitch. Gurriel shoots it into right and out of the reach of Santander. Cooper will go to third, Gurriel to second. The Marlins have 2 on with nobody out here in the 9th inning.
Yeah, this just got interesting. And the Marlins a lot like the Orioles. A lot of come from behind victories this year. They've got 25 comeback victories. Orioles have 33. And they do a lot of their damage in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning.
Bizzardo does have to face one more batter. That'll be Brian De La Cruz. Tying run is now in the hole for Miami. De La Cruz 1 for 11 in the series. Takes ball 1. Segura and Wendell, the next 2 Marlins hitters. What is happening to the field color right now?
Something called the sun came out. Brighten things up just a tick.
Popped him up short right field. Having to fight that brand new sun is Urias, who reaches out and snags it at the last moment.
That was not an easy play.
No, it wasn't.
Santander was playing a little bit deep,
Yep.
a little bit shaded toward right center field, so he was not going to get to this ball. And the only person that had a chance of catching it was Urias. And quickly gets it in, just in case there's a tag from third base.
See the ball in the glove? Yes. He did take a look at Santander or Anthony and
Yeah.
saw that he wasn't going to get it.
One away for Segura as rain starts to hit this field. And now the rain blots out the sun. This is rather strange. A little midsummer sun shower. Two strikes on Segura. Bradish, Baker, Bizzardo. Orioles pitching superb this afternoon. That's a little nubber foul by Gene Segura. In this 7-game win streak, the Orioles came into the game having just dominated one team after another, allowing 16 runs in 7 games. Overall, 2.76 team ERA in the month of July. That's the 3rd best in the majors in this month, behind only Seattle and Atlanta. Bizzardo trying to keep the 0, keep the lead on an 0-2. Segura fights off another.
Another breaking ball in the outside part. Everything away. If Bizzardo can get that good sinking fastball, just enter third here, I think he's going to get weak contact.
The 22nd pitch of this 9th inning. Another 0-2. Goes outside again, and Segura slams it into left center field. That will bring in 2. The Marlins snap the shutout. The Marlins bring the tying run to the on-deck circle, and Brandon Hyde will bring a new pitcher into the game.
Yeah, I didn't like that pitch sequence at all. I felt like it was just too many breaking balls, 4 or 5 in a row in the outside part of the plate, and finally Segura catches up one and doubles it out to left center field, pushes across 2.
To the bullpen go the Orioles, trying to hold this win.
ERA's punched out 38, only walked 7, so an outstanding strikeout to walk ratio. Opponents hitting just .217 off the left-hander Coulomb.
Gene Segura's 2-run double has brought the tying run to the on-deck circle here. Marlins break the shutout. 5-2 game, 9th inning. And Danny Coulomb's trying to pick up his first save on a day where Felix Bautista and Yennier Cano are unavailable. .233rd career game for Danny. Be the first save of his career if he finishes this thing off. Joey Wendell, left-handed batter, and a ground ball to second base. Urias is there, and the Orioles have picked up 26 of the necessary 27 outs.
Danny Coulomb, 2 different fastballs, sinking fastball and a 4-seamer. A couple different breaking balls. He's got the curve ball and the sweeper. Throw an occasional cutter as well.
On their feet one just inside of John Birdie. He remained in the game as Birdie stayed in at right after pinch hitting for Jacob Stallings. Nick Fortes came in the spot of Jorge Soler. So in case it got around that far, you have a weaker bat in the 2 spot. Hopefully for the Orioles' sake, it doesn't get that far. That's ball 3. Tying run is on deck. That's Dane Myers in the 9 spot, who's reached base all 3 times. Strike 1. Three and 1 to Birdie. Strike 2. One more strike and John Birdie will be sleeping with the fishes. Three and 2. We'll do it again. On a day where the Rays are down 6-0 in the 5th at Kansas City, the Orioles have a chance to move within 1 game of the American League East leaders. Another 3-2 from Danny. Birdie center field. That ball is down for a base hit in front of Cowser. It will score Segura, and the Marlins will bring the tying run to the plate in a 5-3 game.
Boy, it's just never easy, is it?
No, it never is.
Just in cruise control until the top of the 9th inning, and all of a sudden the tying run will make its way to home plate.
I see Cowser kind of hesitate a little bit. He wasn't quite sure. Still was be a tough play out there.
Chris Holt's going to come out to chat with Coulombe after James McCann went out first. Coulombe has to face a minimum of 3 batters as well, so you can't go right on right here.
Myers has had a good day. Reached all 3. 2 for 2 with a walk.
Tying run at the plate. 1 home run, 9 career games. And Myers takes the first pitch just out of play. A 3-run first, a 2-run fourth. Will that be enough for a Baltimore sweep? An 0-1 from Coulombe. Floats inside. Orioles won 5-2 on Friday. Game they never trailed. They trailed 4-0 yesterday. Came back to win 6-5. Trying to hang on to a game they led 5-0. In the air, out of play, and once again the Orioles have 1 strike to get. With a sweep in their sights, a 1-2. A little bit high. Myers on base all 3 times. 2-2. Dugout left side, and this game is not over. Dane Myers will reach base, and the Marlins make this a 5-4 game, but more importantly, the tying run, Myers goes to second. Miami back from the grave in this ninth inning, a 4-run frame, the tying run at second, and Luis Arraez coming up.
And how about the day for Dane Myers, too? 3 for 3. 2 singles, a double, a walk, and this RBI double.
And Danny is going to stay in there for one more batter. Hopefully the last one of the game. It's the Major League hits leader, Luis Arraez. Nobody in the big leagues this season among qualified hitters has reached base more often than Luis Arraez. Nearly 44% of the time coming into today. He is 0 for 4 in this game. 5-4 in the ninth, the 1-0. There's a strike swinging.
How about that? A 2-seam fastball. Ran it right in on the hands of Arraez. So breaking ball away, fastball in.
Don't want to look at that number.
Oof.
Avert your eyes.
Yeah, it scares me. He's 0 for 4 too. That's what scares me more than anything.
Yes.
2-1 to Arraez, who is worse against lefties to the tune of 377 and a 411 on base percentage.
Yeah. Well, it was breaking ball away, fastball in for a strike, breaking ball away again. Does Colombo go back to that 2-seam fastball in?
National League starting second baseman in the All-Star game, Arraez swings through another.
Yep. So that's the sequence, right?
Yeah.
Breaking ball, fastball, strike. Breaking ball again, fastball for a strike.
On the day of the Wimbledon men's final, the Orioles keep finding themselves with match points. 2-2. Arraez left field. Hayes is there, and the Orioles survive. 5-4 for a sweep of the Marlins.
Very nice. Oof. 0 for 5?
Yeah, 2 out of 3 games in this series, the Orioles, Arraez is 0 for, and they did pick up 4 hits yesterday, but the Orioles win it no matter what. How about 8 consecutive victories, led by Kyle Bradish, his 4th consecutive quality start. 9 of his quality, that's 9 quality starts now on the year. 15 out of 17 starts is 3 earned runs or less. Baker was outstanding. Guzzardo struggled a little bit, but the Orioles got out quick in this one. I think that was the key, right? Back-to-back doubles lead the game off. Henderson and Rutschman, and Santander with a big 2-run homer that got the Orioles out in front and rolling early in this one.
The Orioles only the second team to sweep the Marlins this season. Their 6th sweep. They have not been swept. And you know what's better than a 7-game win streak?
An 8.
An 8-game win streak. 5-4, they hang on. Danny Coulomb picks up his first major league save. It was a lot more harrowing than it should have been in the ninth, but Brandon Hyde's bunch survives. They're 57-35. 1.5 games behind Tampa Bay, and right now the Rays are down 7-0 to the Royals in the 6th, so the Orioles could be a game back, and it's Felix Bautista leading the way, sweeping his way through center field. So the Orioles win it 5-4. Anthony Santander once again had one of the big hits of the game, a 2-run home run in the first inning. And Anthony is with us now, along with Orioles interpreter, your man, Q, Brandon Quinones. Anthony, congratulations on the win and another home run. You got a pitch that was really, really low in the first inning. What was going through your head when you saw a ball nearly in the dirt?
I mean, the first one was really bell high, and I put a hard swing, so I tried to slow down my swing, be able to recognize the pitch right there and put a good swing.
Anthony, you guys felt like, I felt like to me and Mike Devereaux was talking about this, I felt like the approach in this series was attack early. You guys swung at a lot of first pitches and attacked early against the Marlins.
Yes. They were throwing strike, and we have to be ready for any pitch, fastball, slider. But most on the fastball, be able to recognize those breaking balls and put a good swing.
What's working well with your swing right now, Anthony?
I'm on time on the fastball. On time on the fastball, able to recognize those pitches and put a good swing.
Yeah, I mean, is that what the problem, in April, a little bit of a struggle for you in April, is it was just timing of the fastball more than anything?
Yes, I was late, a lot of pop-up in the infield. That's part of the game. We have with good mentality, come to the field, work with the hitting coaches, and thank God we get out of that way.
You want to give Q a little shout out right here since he's standing next to you again?
My man.
Thanks, Q. Thanks, Anthony. Congratulations on another win.
Thank you, guys.
8 straight wins for the Orioles and a sweet little hug to end it. 5-4, they survive the fish. And once again, Melanie Newman, you've got a glorious O's Extra ahead of you.
It is a glorious O's Extra. Kevin, first of all, this is why we can't crack dad jokes in the 9th inning, because then these games just catch up on you here. But look, if it wasn't close, it wouldn't be exciting. The Orioles hold on to pick up another big win. The streak stays intact. Hear from manager Brandon Hyde and so much more. 8 straight for the Orioles as they barrel through the second half. We'll be back with more O's Extras coming your way.